Hey, so what is up guys? So we all knew that it was coming, that Apple would finally make a foldable. And to be honest, it might actually be pretty good besides the price. But as always, if you guys want to skip around and move around in the video, there will be video notes and chapters, of course, so you guys can skip around. Now, I'll go into a little bit of background because see, Apple is known for waiting a little bit longer until they can actually produce something that works well and works better than their competitors. One reason why I guess the iPhone didn't have an OLED display until the iPhone X came out, whereas all these other phones had OLED displays, just because Apple could do it better. Apple, made a sandwich board so the actual phone wouldn't have a bigger chin on the bottom. So it's all these different things. Now, we're not going to talk about Apple Intelligence because Apple Intelligence, well, right now is a straight up fail. But again, there's skippable cards in the bottom, and so if you guys want to skip around, feel free to do it. Let's just talk about the design of the actual phone. So the front display is actually expected to have a 5.5-inch front display. We're not totally sure if this is going to be OLED. I would assume that it is going to be OLED, considering that Apple has sort of been moving their devices from OLED, mini LED, and different things like that. And so they've been moving away from LCD, or their Retina display is what they like to call it. So yes, I expect this to be OLED. The inner display will actually be around 7.8 inches. And the crazy part about this is that there will be no crease. Apple is using a different Chinese phone manufacturer. I think it's called like Lens Technology. Again, pictures on the screen. But Apple's using a different manufacturer than all the other competition. They've patented a new way to sort of get rid of the crease. So we like to see that. Obviously, it probably will still be noticeable, but again, Apple's sort of calling it, the invisible crease or something stupid like that. Display panel will actually come from Samsung themselves. Samsung has produced other things for Apple, like again, the iPhone X display came from Samsung. And so, this I kind of saw this one coming. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. I like it when competition works together. Now, this display panel will probably be patented to the iPhone itself. So being it's not exactly totally Samsung's work, just because some of the manufacturers will be patented from Apple themselves, but the phone will be ran off of a Samsung panel. The design itself. So the hinge is actually going to be liquid metal, which again will allow for a thinner design, coming at around 4.5 millimeters when unfolded and about 9 millimeters when folded. Other rumors say that it will be about 4.75 millimeters when unfolded and about 9.5 millimeters when folded. That's pretty good considering that Samsung just did like 8.9 millimeters with their current fold, which, by the way, guys, if you haven't seen that video, definitely hit up here for that video. The video is super interesting and is super cool. But low key, that is very impressive when it comes to a first generation phone. The liquid metal hinge is a new formula that Apple is trying to use to make the phone more durable and to also get rid of that crease, because again, the phone is going to be thinner, and to be honest, I wonder if it will snap in half like Bengate iPhone 6 Plus. So other rumors actually suggest the reason why it's going to be thinner is just because, again, Apple's getting more efficient with their processors. Not saying that they're going to put an M series processor in this phone, but Apple is getting to the point where their phones are going to get thinner because of the 17 Air. And so the possibility with this new iFold or iPhone Fold is that it could be around the same thinness as the current iPad Pro, which is 5.1 millimeters thin for the 12-inch model. So impressive for a first generation phone. The cameras themselves, so Apple will probably not do Face ID for this phone, which I'm actually a favorite of. I prefer Touch ID. I love Touch ID. It works so well. I literally love Touch ID on this iPad. Touch ID on the iPad is amazing. So Apple could possibly bring back Touch ID to the iPhone in the iFold version, basically putting it on the power button, because there will probably not be enough room to put a actual Face ID sensor and an IR blaster in the phone. So yeah, no hard feelings from me. The actual cameras themselves, for the inner display when unfolded, you'll have an under display camera, which Samsung just left the under display camera market, but again, Apple is doing it last, so they might actually be able to do a better under display camera. And then on the front display, you're supposed to be getting a hole punch camera. I suggest these cameras being around 12 megapixels or 10 to 12 megapixels. Again, Apple is a little lackluster on the camera department. However, we will be getting a 48 megapixel main sensor on the back and a 48 megapixel ultra wide sensor. This actually really comes from the iPhone 16 Pro. We will probably be inheriting those same sensors from the iPhone 16 Pro, or because this is a 2026 launch, we might be getting the same sensors from the 17 Air or the 17. The processor. So again, because this is a 2026 launch, the A20 chip is expected to actually be 15% faster than the A19 and 30% more power efficient than the A19. So low key, that's very good, especially because Apple is trying to make the phone thinner. They're trying to break the world and make the phone thinner. Hopefully this phone has MagSafe or like wireless charging or something cool like that, because that's one thing that I really want to see. The price. So we all know folding phones are like a luxury phone. Folding phones are very expensive. You can pay a pretty dollar for a folding phone. This folding phone is expected to go around $2,000 to $2,500, according to Minching Cool. I think that's a little much. $2,500 for a phone itself seems a little much. $2,000 seems fine because that's how much the Z Fold costs, but it could be in the middle, the $2,250 range. But Apple, obviously, they're going to make a phone that is going to be more luxurious than everyone else's because, again, it has no crease. It possibly won't bend in half and snap in half. Let me know what you guys think about this whole update. And of course, we don't know if the display will be 120 hertz. I hope it is because we're paying $2,500 for it. Because the iPhone 17s are getting 120 hertz across the board this year, we think that it possibly will be a 60 to 120 hertz refresh rate. However, it will not be an LTPO panel, just like we get on the Pro phones, but rather you will have to manually switch from 16 to 120 hertz. And so that might be a little bit of an issue just because battery management and power management. But let me know what you guys think, obviously, about this whole, transition with Apple and their folding phone. And, let me know about that price and let me know if you guys are going to pick one up. Definitely hit that subscribe button down below. Hit the like button. Share this video to a friend if, they were wondering. And I will catch you guys in the next one. So yeah, peace out.